Pewter peeps, welcome into the PewterCast post game,
and
presented by BetUS.com. The post game show is sponsored by Christ. I can't find it. The hell with it. That's what I feel like tonight. I'm Steve Carney. That is Ren Dax, and I don't know about you, Ren, but I found myself sometime around the end of the third quarter going, why am I torturing myself with this?
Right? Yeah, I mean, God, here's the thing, and this is the part that I find really hard, is like sort of covering the Bucs when they're good or this good. I mean, who are you going to blame? Like, who are you going to get mad at? Like, are you going to yell at the coaches and feel like they need to be fired? Like, it's the best coaching staff they've probably ever had.
Well,
are you going to yell at Brady, who, yeah, he had a pretty shitty game, but a lot of the balls were dropped early on him. You know, some of them were Gronk. So you're going to yell at Gronk, the best tight end's ever lived? Or you yell at Godwin, our best receiver we've had, maybe ever?
Who got taken out low? And
yeah, I mean, you can yell at the offensive line. I mean, you can yell at the offensive line. They had a crappy game, but it's the only one they've had in like 27 games. You know, it's like, what do you get mad at? You just kind of be like, well, okay, well, yeah.
This was a gigantic turd. That's exactly what this was. It was like, I think the funniest thing that I said about it was, it looks like Byron Leftwich has already taken the job in Jacksonville with 0 points scored tonight. This is the first time that Tom Brady has been shut out since 2006.
Right.
He was still in his 20s at that point. He is now 44 and older than I am. And so I just sit here and I just was scratching my head most of the night. Like, I know all the injuries, you know, no Godwin, no Evans, no Leonard Fournette. It was like, okay, like, and I just thought it was hilarious, you know, watching the television broadcast and watching Michelle Tafoya talk, saying that Bruce Arians said at halftime, this is where the kids are going to have to step up and show why they're on this team. And what did we see from them? We saw a lot of drops. We saw a lot of Jalen Darden getting his feet tangled up with Marshawn Lattimore. We saw Sneak Vaughn not being able to get a yard on 3rd and 1.
That wasn't his fault. They didn't block the end.
No, I know, but then you saw him fall down on a wheel or a wheel.
Yeah, a little past the middle, and he had a little screen pass that he just dropped. Gronk dropped one. You know, they targeted Mike Evans one time, caught it, went out of the game,
hurt himself.
You know, it was just. Even though, you know, we weren't sort of moving the ball when we came out and passed it like 10 times, 13 times in a row, whatever it was, but like, it was there, you know, like those things were there. So I sort of understood it. It's hard to really describe what happened. It's like, and I feel that it was a lot like the Washington game when Brady got hit early and it hurt, that he just decided that he was not going to get hit anymore in the Washington game. And he just threw everything like 10 yards or shorter. And he's like, I'm just getting it out of my hand. And the funny thing with the Washington game is, like, they barely brought enough pressure the rest of the game anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and early on he got hit. You know, he threw the interception that got dropped, the first pass of the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just looked like he was just trying to get rid of the ball, you know. And it's something I've said in the past. Like, if it's 3rd and long and you have one of these veteran quarterbacks, you just blitz them, because they're going to dump it off to the outlet and hope the guys can make a play and get to the sticks, because that's a smart play. And, you know, it just kind of felt like that's what Brady was doing for the first half. You know, the second half I don't feel that way, but I don't even know why they couldn't get going. It was just hard to tell. Like, you know, it was a clunky game plan. There was no flow. You know, anytime they got a little bit of a flow, there was, I mean, with 3 sacks that they had, and
Yeah.
they're all on third down like that. They were just like. What makes it worse? It's the Saints, man. It's like
Well,
I remember being a Bucs fan. I know you're gonna. I'll let you in a second. I remember being a Bucs fan. I said this a couple like last time we lost to the Saints. Like I was like in second grade when the Bucs like went to, when they went and lost 9-0 to the Rams, and I got made fun of being a Bucs fan before then. And then they went like 30 freaking years without winning more than 5 games or something stupid. And I got made fun of a Bucs fan all that time. And I always promised myself, when the Bucs got good, I'm not going to make fun of other fans. Then the Bucs got good in 2000, Tony Dungy, blah, blah, blah. But there's no social media, right? So then a social media comes around, and we stink, and we're getting banged on and banged on and banged on. Now we're good, and now we're acting like a bunch of assholes out there on social media, like our shit doesn't stink, like nothing can happen to us, like we're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and a team comes and slaps us in the face, and now we got to put up with this shit because there's a handful of assholes out there who keep saying, like, they're just hype. Like, they don't talk about the fucking game. And now my social media has totally been ruined because it's going to be... I don't even want to go on Twitter for the next week.
yeah.
It's just fucking bull... Anyway, I don't know even why I said that. But anyway. But who the fuck are you going to get mad at? Like, really? Like you just watch the game. There's nothing to change. Like with Cutter, you could yell about the head coach, or you could yell about Mike Smith's defense, or this person needs the ball more. But like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell Tom? Like, am I gonna sit here and tell Tom Brady that he had a fucking shitty game? He had a shitty game, but he knows like why don't you throw it here when you're supposed to throw it here? Like there were some questionable play calls. Yeah, a couple times on 3rd and short or 4th and short, they went through very low percentage passes.
Oh, you mean like the fade route to Gronk on 4th down?
Yeah. It's like what is that? Like that's your best play call? Like what is that? But again, what am I gonna do? Fucking tell Tom Brady to sit the bench? Like, what? That was not the play call.
No,
that was not the play call.
For this looked to me like a late 90s, early 2000s Tony Dungy era Bucs game. I even said on Twitter, like, I wholly expect Bert Emanuel to be in this game at some point because it looked like Mike Shula was running the offense and not Byron Leftwich, and the defense balled its ass off. The defense did everything that you could ask of it. Every single thing. I mean, they gave up 9 points to a team with Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, and the likes, and they kept Taysom Hill in check for the most part.
No first downs in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they balled the hell out. They looked like it looked like a Tony Dungy era Bucs game where the defense did its job and the offense just couldn't get anything going. And part of that is because of no Evans, no Godwin, no Leonard Fournette for the second half, and was like, all right, this is just. Like I was just sitting there like, all right, what can you do without those 3 in the lineup? Because you're going to see a lot of targeting of Gronk. You're probably going to see Rojo. I thought Rojo had a really nice game.
Yeah, he did.
Coming in, I was like, look at it. He's getting some.
Except he didn't fight for like the extra yards a couple times and came up short and ended up killing drives. Like I swear, because they cut away to a commercial. You saw Brady talking to Rojo.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that was like, dude, that was like, why the fuck did you not try to get that first down?
You like fell down. You fell flat instead of falling forward.
Yeah, or he ran sideways out of bounds instead of putting his foot in the ground and trying to dive for the sticks, like what he did last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago when I tweeted out Rojo was dumb. Like, he didn't I think he got, and then it was like illness. Remember that? Yeah. It was like he ran out of bounds and it was like illness. He never played again. It was like, what?
Yeah. Yes, he's sick of trying to go for first downs.
Yeah. He's sick of effort.
I'm exactly, this is, I saw Nofu in the comments on YouTube talking about how, while he was waiting for us to come on, that you were probably just sitting there chilling and I was sitting there screaming, which, first off, it's after 11 o'clock at night and I don't want the cops called to my house. So there will be no screaming tonight. But yeah, I just kind of like put my hands in the air. I'm like, what the hell are you gonna do? What
Yeah,
are
I
you
mean,
doing?
exactly. What are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna? What needs to be changed? It's a high-scoring offense. The defense played great. You know,
They said it was on television. It was the first time that the highest scoring offense in the league got shut out in December or January in NFL
sure.
history.
Who cares? You know, if Adams comes up with that pick, it's a
Yeah,
different game. Suck up missed a field goal. Brady fumbles when we could have had a field goal, changes the whole game.
they
Like all,
needed they
it was just
needed they needed a takeaway. The defense needed that
yeah. And
Adams
if he would have picked that off, then they wouldn't have got their 9. It would have been 6, and
you're
again,
thinking
different ball game.
a touchdown gives you the lead. A touchdown, an extra point gives you the lead.
But nothing really changes. We're still gonna win the division. Like nothing, nothing changes. It's just kind of like, well, shit. You're depressed because I know people are gonna talk about how our record, in primetime games haven't been good. Of course, the Saints, and then it just seems when, I don't know, whatever. For some reason, the Saints games mean more. I know why, but everyone's bought into it. It's a bunch of shit, and
Yeah.
anyway. But
It's a division
we got
game,
Nofu and Corey waiting in there. I don't know. I'm gonna try to bring Nofu up when you're ready, but I don't.
All right, well,
his picture's not there.
All right, let me do the Bet US
Whatever.
ad then here before we get to Corey and to Nofu. As the PewterCast is brought to you by BetUS.com. For 27 years, BetUS has been paying out its winners every single week. I actually was very smart, and I saw that the Lions were over 2 touchdowns at one point, and I ended up taking the Lions plus 14.5. And then got a win that day. So we'll worry about this. So I'm happy about that. So congratulations to Detroit for beating Arizona. So if you think this game is bad for the Bucs, think about what the Cardinals just had happen to them today. So you can get yourself a little extra scratch from BetUS.com thanks to the PewterCast. If you go to BetUS.com, use the promo code Pewter with the letter C and the number 125 as I pull it up here on my phone. Let me get the rest of my pictures off of here because we like to do this on YouTube. Again, Pewter C125 is the promo code for BetUS.com. Get you a 125% sign up bonus. So if you go to BetUS.com and use the promo code Pewter C125 and deposit $100, you end up with $225 worth of money in your account to bet with. And again, they have the NFL regular season going on, the NBA and the NHL, even though COVID has stopped a lot of both of those leagues. And also you've got the college football bowl games going on, and Ren's favorite,
the ponies. The ponies.
And you could have also bet the UFC game, the UFC card last night here in Tampa as well. So you can go to
freaking Saints fans in the goddamn chat.
Oh, I know.
The worst.
Ridiculous. Yeah. That. Guess you know what? Again,
it's only 10:30 New Orleans though.
Yeah, and remember that the Saints won both games last year too, and we all know what happened.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to make excuses about that crap.
No, not at all. BetUS.com, promo code PewterC125. All right, go ahead and grab Corey because I saw Nofu in the chat saying his computer doesn't have a webcam.
Let's see. We got another beautiful shot of Corey's ceiling fan. I've seen that ceiling fan more than any other ceiling fan my whole entire life. Like,
oh man, I'm with you, Ren. I don't know how I feel.
I feel bad, but but how do you analyze this game? Yep, they sucked. But there's no one really to yell at.
That's the easy. I'm gonna yell at Byron Leftwich though. That's what I'm gonna yell at. But I'm
okay. He's already taking the job in.
But we had the number one offense in the league, so it's kind of hard to just say, "Oh, Byron Leftwich." Like you said, it's hard to just fuss at one entity. The defense did play out. They played by themselves tonight. I mean, special teams was bad. We shanked 2 punts, and we missed a field goal. And then the offense obviously was terrible. 2 turnovers, and if you want to count turnover on downs as well. It's just Brady with that fumble. Like, he just doesn't, like, why? Like, what was he doing? Like, we'll take the 3. The score is 6-0. Like, why are you trying to just go down? You're not going to beat those guys for 7 yards. Like, don't take the sack. Great. You made a move to get out of the pockets and not take the sack. Now just secure the ball. Like, his awareness versus the Saints is so odd. It's just, I don't know, man. You know, Saints do practice a lot of voodoo and shit. I don't know. But the score being 6-0 for such a long time and us actually having a chance to win the game, I'm more upset at the injuries because I do not know the severity.
Right.
Chris Godwin.
I saw Schefter tweeted that the report is that it's a sprained MCL for Godwin.
That's the rest that's the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, that means that's usually 4 weeks.
And there's no telling how he's going to come back. Like, he's missed to do everything.
Yeah.
So that's such a dirty play, in my opinion. PJ Williams is not a rookie. He's been playing in the NFL long enough to know you don't hit nobody like that. That was Bush League. And the referee standing right there, and even Chris Collinsworth, who says a lot of dumb shit, he was like, honestly, I don't know how that's not defensive receiver. Like, right. I watched, I think it was the Pittsburgh and Titans game earlier, and there was a defender that did that to somebody that was blocking on a toss sweep, and they threw a 15-yard penalty. And it was a corner versus a tackle. So he didn't have a choice but to go to try to get low and try to get through the block. And they threw a 15-yard penalty on him. And I'm just like, I don't understand the inconsistencies in the NFL with officiating. Like, that's a very dangerous play. Like, that we're talking about career-ending stuff right there. That guy, and then he gets up clapping and shit, cheering and shit. I'm like, bro, y'all 6-7, relax. And that's why I'm with you, Ren. Like, I don't know how to process it because we're going to win the division, but what's going to happen going forward? What's wrong with Mike Evans? Our terrible strength and conditioning coaches show up again, like they have been all year. We've had quads, hamstrings, pulled muscles, groins all season, and somebody got to pay for that.
Since Arians has been here,
like
I tried asking somebody about that one time. There was a girls' flag football tournament out there in the boonies of Tampa, whatever those surrounding areas are called, and I drove out there. And Coach Lowe was out there, but then I don't know her name, but the other female coach, who's really a weight trainer, tall girl, always got her hair in her bun. Anytime CBA, she's in the background.
She gotta go.
Well, I don't know.
I'm sick of it. She gotta go.
I don't think it's her fault, but I was kind of asking her that thing. You know, I was asking her about the the harnesses they wear with the chips, so it rates their hydration and their speed and their heart rate and all that kind of stuff. Because the Bucs had a lot of hamstrings. That was the year, when by the end of the year, Scotty was out with a hammy. Mike was out with a hammy, and Godwin was out with a hammy, and and Perryman had his 3 great games and got him paid, and then the next year, it didn't happen. Scotty had another hammy, and there was a little. No, wait, that's not how it went. And then the next year,
it was COVID year, so honestly,
right.
There were a lot of times they weren't even at the facility because they weren't allowed to be there. But now they're back full at the facility. Something's not being done properly for it to be this many tendons, hamstrings. But anyway, I digress.
But real quick to finish off my story, Scotty Miller, who had those hamstring problems even when he came in as a rookie, he said that I heard him on a Pewter Report podcast when they had him on one time. They're on location at the mill. He said that he got with Tom Brady and he got on the TB12 thing. And if you've noticed, Scotty Miller hasn't had hamstring problems since then.
Well, hire double pay Tom Brady to be the strength and conditioning coach.
Double pay.
I'm sick.
Somebody call Alex Guerrero.
But I'm just gonna say just a little bit more about the game. I had a point, and the score was 6-0 for the longest, and then it's so funny because Pinion shanks a punt that pretty much gives them 2 first downs and they're in field goal range.
3 weeks in a row.
That was hilarious to me. That because I was just about to say, I was like, okay, special teams is playing okay. Besides the missed field goal, Pinion's having a good game, and then right on cue, the third phase of the team sinks the ship. Just
Shankopotamus
for no reason, no pressure, had all the space, just kick the damn. So just punt the damn ball, man. Like you have one job. You literally have one job. You have one job to kick the damn ball. Some of you muscle memory has to kick in at some point, and I hate that we couldn't keep Brian Anger, and Tom Brady having to. And we all watch we used to watch fourth preseason games just because there was nothing on TV. That's what tonight offense reminded me of. Like those guys, that interception that Gardner got was a direct result of us not having a skilled player that can create separation. Like he literally baited, and Scotty Miller is a 4-3 guy, but 4-3 means nothing if you can't run routes. Like
it also doesn't help when the defensive back is taller than you. See what Marshawn Lattimore looks like against Mike Evans and what he looks like against Jalen Darden.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming that one on Scotty. Scotty was going to run out of room for the ball got to him if he didn't slow down.
I just think he flatted out a little bit, and which allowed Gardner to get. Even if Brady can't throw him that ball, he could throw it out of bounds if he's trying to reach him. But he kind of flattened his route a little bit, which is going to allow the DB. But I guess that's just what the route was for. And Gardner pulled him at the beginning of the route too. So, like I said, I don't know who to be. See what I just said? I don't know who to be mad at. So
yeah.
I was mad at Tom. I was mad at Scotty. I was mad at the trainer. She still got to go. She got to go. I'm sorry. She ain't doing her job.
I don't think that's what she does. I don't think she has anything to do with sort of like.
But it's funny you said that. That was the first.
She's recovery, I believe.
She got to go. That whole group of people that are in charge of keeping our players healthy from those stupid. I'm so worried about Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Like, yeah, I'm so worried about. I'm glad the Panthers. We got them twice in the Jets, so we should be fine. But now that first round bye would have been extremely important, especially if we weren't going to be healthy.
Well, season's not over with yet. Don't give up total hope. I think they're both going to be fine.
I'm not going to give up, man.
Godwin was running up and down the sidelines for God's sake.
Yeah, so maybe it'd be closer to 2 to 4 instead of the 4 to 5. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
remember, like last year, Mike Evans looked like he blew his knee out, and he played the next week.
I just hate that it was the Saints, and that's all.
I know.
I'm gonna go find something else to do with myself.
All right.
By the way, Matthew Hall in our comments is completely right. Happiest man in Tampa right now is Antonio Brown. Because
right.
I mean, that's the one thing that you can take away from it. Yes, they lost, Evans and Godwin and Lenny on offense, but at least and Levante David on defense at the end of the game with a foot injury. But yeah, but you're gonna get Brown back on offense. You're gonna get Mike Edwards back on defense. So
who by the way, probably catches that interception. Winfield didn't play at all tonight either. He probably catches that interception.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Probably.
But Adams makes plays. I got it for a third string safety. He makes plays. So
yeah, against Carolina, he's good against the Panthers. You play him next.
No, he made that play against the Cowboys too. Like,
all right, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But he is Cam Newton's daddy, so.
Yeah, and he had a sack last week. He against Buffalo, like he makes plays. But anyway, guys, man, have a good night. We'll do this again next week.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, Corey. I want to shout out the ceiling fan before you go.
Yeah, give us a shout out.
There it is. There it is. Wow. What is that? A Hamilton Bay? Is that a Home Depot?
You got it at Dan's Fan Shop on 4th Street here in St.
Dan's Fans. The prices are so low, they're insane. Hey, all right, you ready for Nofu?
I'm ready for Nofu. By the way,
Nofu has warned us. He's got notes, so
he's got notes and no webcam.
And no webcam, which is fine. No. It's okay. Mystery Man, is that you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we hear you.
Yeah, no. If I do it on my phone, the sound that you guys like go to 33% volume, and I can barely hear y'all. So
sure,
that's why I did that. But I do have somebody I want to blame.
Ooh.
I'll make my case before we get into that, though, and I'm going to put it in a super chat in a second. Another one for you guys as to who I want to blame. But before that, I want to talk about what Corey's saying with the injuries and the strength and conditioning. With I respect Corey. Corey's got a lot of great insight. If we look at the three main injuries we care about, right? We look at Fournette. Fournette, that tackle was weird. Like, he almost did a split. Like
He did do a split.
Yeah, he did a split. Like, that's not like he ran the ball and then started pulling up like he pulled a hammy. Like, he almost did. He did a split.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not surprised. We look at Godwin. Do we need to say anything? Like, I'm not even. I mean, I'm mad about the hit, and I'm more mad about how he responded to it. The guy who made the hit, but that's the argument players were making when they first instituted don't hit above the shoulders rule. Like, well, then they're going to go for the knees, and that's what they do. They want to get hit in the helmet and get the penalty. So I'm not. Of course, he's hurt. I'm surprised he was even on the sidelines. And then Mike Evans I was actually surprised about because the way he came down, I thought he had a concussion because he came down hard. And then when they said hamstring, I was like, oh, that's Evans for you. Like, how many years has he always had a hamstring injury? So, I mean, even before this coaching staff. So it's not like this came out of the blue. Every single one of them makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at our offensive line, healthy as can be, our defense has had some weird injuries, like elbows popping out. But outside of that, we don't have dudes just, pulling things randomly. We just don't. So I don't think that's a big issue. The reffing, we always talk about how we don't want games called too tight, like they're called tic-tacky stuff, everything here or there. We want to let them play. I think this is the example of refs letting them play way too much. I swear there was one point where Brady got in the face of the ref after the player sacked him and he was dancing on top of him and literally basically told him, do your fucking job. They just let him play too much, and the Saints are very chippy with us, and we're not with them. And the Saints got the benefit of that until the end of the game when it didn't matter, right? So I really hated that portion. But the thing, the people I want to blame is two people. And I'm sending you guys a super chat right now because this is exactly how I feel the whole game after I was done mauling there for a little bit.
I saw your comment about that. It made me laugh.
Yeah. So I'm going to blame Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, and I'll explain why.
Okay. Hang on. Let me put up your visual aid.
Thank you.
And thank you for that, by the way.
No, thank you.
First off, yeah, that's it.
Where you going, Johnny?
They got out-coached by a team without a head coach. Completely. Most teams, I've not seen a team. Last year against the Lions, they didn't have coaches. We destroyed them. We had to put in Ryan Griffin, whatever, backup QB. I'm so mad right now. I can't even think of our backup QB's name.
Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert. There you go. You see teams.
Ren's boy. Ren's boy.
Right. And you see teams this year where they lose their head coach. You just get dismantled. By the second quarter in your first couple of drives, game plan is done. You just get dismantled because the head coach is not used to being a head coach, isn't ready for this, and gets out coached. Right? That's what happens when your team doesn't have a head coach. There's a reason why there's only 32 of them and half of them usually get fired because there's not enough who can compete. I don't think that, before I say anything though, I don't think we should be going off on this tirade to fire them. Like, people, this team won the Super Bowl last year. The same coaching staff. Like, I'm not saying fire them. But you guys got out-coached. There was no adjustments. It was the same thing. And you guys, when players went down, there was no backup plan. It was literally like hero ball. You see Brady trying to do the run and then fumbling it. You see, players just, trying to get one-on-one. We're not making plays to have these backup receivers get open. It's just streaks or posts. Like, it's just you one-on-one, make some separation. And you really think that Darden is going to make separation against Malcolm Jenkins or Marcus Lattimore? Like, it's not going to happen. They're too good comparatively.
Well, think about this. Okay, at the beginning, I was kidding, but there are going to be some fire coach. There's going to be some fire Leftwich stuff out there. Even the lesser fans going to be like, lesser knowledgeable fans like fire Bruce Arians. You can't win. You'll never win the division. You can't beat the Saints. Blah 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 blah. You're just going to see it. Obviously, we're not talking about Todd Bowles. The defense only gave up 9 points, no first downs in the third quarter. I think it only got like 31 yards. We're not talking about Todd Bowles here on this game. So who are we talking about? Leftwich? But, do you think Leftwich called a fade to Gronk?
No, I know.
On
Brady,
4th and 2? Yeah.
Brady did that. People don't know that. The play was not I don't know what the play was originally, but Brady tapped his hip on the side. That's usually a fade to Gronk. If you go watch it back, Brady called that play. He changed the play at the line and did it. That was Brady.
Yeah, and all the checkdowns to Fournette early, like those aren't called plays.
So and that goes into another thing factor.
So who are you going to yell at? Leftwich, who he's calling the plays and Brady's not following it, or are you going to yell at Tom Brady, the greatest football player ever to walk the face of the planet?
Brady is one of those players who will say, "Okay, coach, if you want me to do that, I can." That's when Arians and Leftwich need to come in and say, "Hey, it's not working. We need to change it." Because here's the thing: since Brady came here, I had that hopium, that hope that Brady would be Brady in New England, and he's been amazing. He's been, a GOAT for us, won us a Super Bowl. But other than maybe 2 games last year, I still have not seen. I've never once felt that we're always in it feeling that Patriots fans have. They'll always come to these chat rooms and be like, "Guys, you're not out of it. Tom Brady's on your team." And I still don't feel it. Maybe it's because I got too much trauma from being a Bucs fan, right? Like maybe because the last game of Jameis Winston's career here was overtime, pick 6, first play, and that's it, game over. Like I'm so used to it but I feel like I'm having this realization maybe that it's not just Brady. It was like, because it seems like he's not calm. He's not cool. He's not collected in those moments. And he's trying hero ball. And obviously Belichick is cool, calm, collected no matter what, right? And that goes on Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, right? What are we calling from? What are we saying? Like, what are we seeing in the team? Because there's a human element to it as well. When y'all go in the locker room down 6-0, what are y'all talking about in there? Y'all not saying, "Hey, guys, we're still in it. Everyone stay cool, stay calm. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're seeing." Like, I'm not feeling from this team that they have it together when the chips are down. So if all this kind of stuff goes together, right? You lost your starters, cool. What game plan are you going to put together with the team you have here? Which goes into Rojo, which you brought up, Steve. Literally in the third quarter. It's not the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go. It's the third quarter. Rojo breaks off 2 plays for about 34, 35 yards. And even the announcer, Chris Collinsworth, says exactly, looks like they're finding something here. And then we don't see Rojo for pretty much the rest of the game. What happened? That's on Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians. Well, Tom Brady doesn't get to pick if Rojo's on the field. I hope not.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Like, this is something that, I've talked about before, and I know you've talked about it too before, where, I mean, even last year, where it was like, all the announcers were like, "Oh, it's Tom Brady time." Or even tonight at one point, it was like, "Well, I don't know if that's the guy's cape you want to pull on." Well, yeah, but I remember, like, having the ball and, go down and score, 2+ minutes left, 2 timeouts, Chiefs interception. I remember, there were a couple of games like that in the mid, before obviously the bye week, because then we didn't lose. But, where it was like, "Oh, it's Tom Brady time," and like it didn't happen. And like, it was the same, just kind of like the same old. It didn't matter if it was, the drive looked like it was Freeman or Winston or Garcia or Brady. It all just kind of looked the same. And, and it felt that way tonight too. Like just nothing ever came together. Now, I understand the feeling of sort of like you're not cool, calm, and collected. I think it has a lot to do because it was the Saints. Like last week, who the hell we played last week?
Bills.
The Bills. The Bills were like 5 yards from winning the game. My heartbeat never I never even looked up from my phone. Basically, I'm like, "Oh no, they'll stop them," and then it'll go to overtime, and then we'll win. And that's exactly what happened. But against the Saints, when they went up 3-0, I wasn't like, "Oh my God, it's over." But I'm like, "Oh my God, it's over." It's just, and every drive where we didn't get the lead, it just became more pressure. Now, if we were playing the Dolphins, I would have nothing. And I'd be like, "Nope, they'll put it together. No big deal. They can't score on us. Ain't going to happen." With the Saints, it's, man, we better take the lead quick because that Hill's going to throw up a 50-50 ball, and the guy's going to go get it, and then our safety and cornerback are going to collide, and he's just going to walk in for the extra 30 yards because there's no one there. Like, that in the back of your head, that's going to happen when we play the Saints. So I hear what you're saying. I think personally, at least for me, it's more about the opponent, and it's more about my feelings that I'm projecting onto the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get what you're saying. I mean, go ahead, Steve.
Well, I was saying, for me, what the second half of this game felt like a Jameis Winston era game, where it's okay, we've got these guys, we have to play our best. we have to hope that they make mistakes and maybe we can pull out a win. This has not been Tom Brady era Buccaneers football today. This was Jameis Winston, Mike Glennon, Josh Freeman era Tampa Bay Buccaneers football, where everything has to go exactly right, and maybe we can pull out of it, and maybe they'll pull out a victory.
Right.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, God, okay, we're gonna have Sneak Vaughn, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, and Jalen Darden as our skilled position players in the fourth quarter, because they obviously weren't going to use Ronald Jones for some reason, because he got yelled at by Tom Brady for not diving forward for a first down and instead going sideways out of bounds. But I'm like, okay, here we are. We're back in 2017 era Buccaneers football, and that's just not the way that you can play and hope to win games against almost any team. I would say that, you know, Arizona probably feels the same way after this afternoon getting beat up by the Lions on the road.
I mean, the Lions are a meme, Stephen. Like, let's be real. The Lions are a meme at this point. So I'm not going to hold that against the Cardinals. That was just hilarious. That was great for the Lions. But it's more so because I was listening to I don't know if y'all watch it. Most people do nowadays. You know, the Pat McAfee show, and I definitely watched the snippet between them and Al Michaels, which is legendary. And they talked about it, data analytics. And this is talking about what you were saying, Stephen. Data analytics versus the human element, right? You know, we always think of Madden. I'm going to quote them exactly. Talk about Madden and how, like, Evans is a 94 and Brady's a 99. Well, reality is some days Brady's an 80. Some days he's a 75, you know? Some days, you know, Mike Evans might be a 94, but his injury number is like a 97, right? So there's a human element, but there's also, you know, there's a momentum element. You know, we all of us as humans in all of our jobs, we can get into funks and then we can get on these crazy highs. Mm-hmm. And so I try to look at that in college football, pro football, within games, and I tell people, like, I'll be in the third quarter and I can tell, you know, you can really tell sometimes when a game's over. Like, you can just tell. I didn't feel that way this game just because we have the talent we have, but I'm starting to get a worry because it's not just this game. It all started in the third quarter against the Bills. In the past 6 quarters, we've scored 3 points. Oh, sorry, if you don't include the overtime, we've scored 10, right? But in regulation, last 6 quarters, we scored 3 points. And we weren't doing anything with Evans, Godwin, and Leonard Fournette. And again, nothing against, I mean, that actually backs up what you're saying, Ren. It's the Saints, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll be my jokey self for once. That's actually good news because every time we're favored to win the Super Bowl and we get swept by the Saints in the regular season, we win it. So thank you, Saints. You guys can win your second Super Bowl of the season against us, and we'll go win the real one. But it's just worrisome to me that, you know, maybe this was just maybe I'm really hoping this is just the Saints, right? We just shit the bed against them every single time. And again, you know, if I look on the flip side, game planning as a coach, you really can't predict that you're going to lose your number 1 receiver, number 2 receiver, your number 1 running back. But then again, I do still, if I take that into effect, let's say that, right, cool. The refs aren't calling anything. They're allowing it to be chippy. Cool. I still doesn't, Ren and Steve, please make it sense to me. Why did you pull Rojo? Why? That's the thing that I'm bugged about the most and what really made me start going at them. Rojo literally was on fire. Like, that dude it felt like he was going, you know, Ultra Instinct, Dragon Ball Z. Like, this dude was on something. I felt like there was something going. I was like, oh, Rojo's here finally. Here we go, that speedster. And then it's like, Keyshawn Vaughn, here we go.
Steve, do you know what Ultra Instinct Dragon Ball Z is?
You know what Super Saiyan is? You ever heard it?
No.
It's when you go to another power level, man. It's when you go to Ultra Instincts when, like, you just see things coming before they happen.
He manned me. Another power level, man. Well, what I would do, Nofu, is I would start asking that question to the beat reporters, and then maybe they'll ask it for you, because I don't know, and I don't care enough to find out, to be honest. Because, again, It's next week. It's not. We're gonna forget all about this. It doesn't matter. The team's good.
We're winning the division. I mean,
Yeah, we're winning the division. The team's good. Godwin's gonna come back. Evans is gonna come back. You know, AB's gonna come back. We're gonna roll through these next 3 games, and then and then we'll see where we're at from there. But it's just.
For everyone watching in the chat right now who's upset, the only thing you need to take away from me right now is that even if the Saints win out, we just have to win 2 and we win the division. And it's against the Carolina Panthers twice in the Jets. Like it's not.
Just got to win 1.
Yeah, you got to win 1.
Well, no. If we win, what are they now? 7-7. We're 10-4. If we win 1, we go to 11, and lose the next 2. They win 4. They go to 11, and then they
only have 3 left.
Yeah, it's only 3. There's only 3 games.
They haven't had their bye yet.
What? Yeah.
No,
they've had their bye.
They've had their bye. They're 10
They're 7-7. We're 10-4.
Oh man, I'm so mad. I just met Matt up. Yeah, so we just got to win 1.
Yeah.
We're gonna win the division. So it's just I'm worried because I just want to see us come out of the gate firing next week.
Yeah, it's the Saints. I get it. It sucks. Their fans are terrible. Look at the chat. I'm just kidding, guys. They're okay. They're actually okay. I'm just teasing them.
Yeah, there's some really good Saints fans. I hate Cam Jordan.
I don't like Cam Jordan either, and I also don't. Obviously, no one likes Sean Payton unless he's your head coach. You just once you see it, you just can't unsee it, man. His mouth is a cat anus. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. I'm sure I don't know if y'all have more people coming online right now.
Yeah, we got Johnny. He's being patient. He walked away at one time. Oh, he gave me double peace signs.
There we go. Well, Johnny, last thing I'm gonna say before I let you come on here, I'll bounce out before Ren kicks me off. Is that the only other worry I have, I've said it once, is I don't think this is true. It's a really big out of the box thinking. Is that Tom Brady knows how good he is, right? He does. I mean, he's not the most humblest man on earth. But I'm worried that he thinks he can hero ball wins. When the game plan could have easily, like you said, that fade, that was not a fade. Like it's known by Patriots fans that double tap is usually Gronk fade. And then it went to a Gronk and a fade. When that's the dumbest shit ever. It was literally you're the best QB sneaker and you had Rojo on fire. What are you doing? So I'm just worried about hero ball. But all right, gentlemen, I will see you next week as well. I'm going to keep watching.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good job, Nofu. Feel better?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good afterwards. I mean, we're Super Bowl champs right now. So.
All right, there you go. All right, man. All right, see ya.
All right, see you, Nofu.
All right, next on deck is Johnny. He's been very patient. Are we ready? You ready, Johnny? Oh, he nodded. And a thumbs up. Okay. That's like a stunt man. Thumbs up. Cold gun. I'm not going to make... I want to make a Russ joke, but I'm not.
Yeah, please.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
How's it going?
What's going on, man?
I'm already feeling a little bit better, so I just want to say thank you guys for our little communal therapy session.
Sure.
Because, goddamn, I hate playing the Saints. Fuck that team, am I right?
Yeah.
Hey, they can win all the regular season games they want. You just want the Bucs to win the game in the post. When they play in the postseason, that's the game that matters.
Right. I was already joking with some friends. I said the silver lining is that now the chances of winning the Super Bowl are just astronomical. So that's positive. But no, Ren, I think I agree with your point about you can't really blame any single one person or one. I guess no one person. The most surprising thing I feel like though about the game was that the O-line was just.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints are a good front. Whatever. They're good.
They're okay. They were better last year.
They've had a bad year for them, but our O-line just yikes. Tristan Wirfs got his ass handed to him a couple times, and I was like, what is going on?
Alex Kappa had the worst game of the 5, and Wirfs had Cameron Jordan beat him I think once badly. But Alex Kappa I want to say at least 2 of those 4 sacks that Brady had were on Alex Kappa, a stunt that got by Alex Kappa, and all of a sudden Brady's got a 300-pound guy breathing down his neck.
Right. I mean, there was a stretch for a lot of the game. It felt like, but where it just was you snap the ball and immediately it's okay, they got to get rid of the ball or else he's going to get sacked. And honestly, lucky Brady didn't get hurt.
True.
And we're getting a lot of pressure this game. But anyway, I mean, their front is solid. Whatever. This kind of actually grinds my gears because it's not really in the Bucs' control. I feel like the refs, they just don't call flags on the Saints like at all.
This is something I have come to learn to accept, and this may upset the Saints fans in chat. Welcome, and I was kidding. They're being fine in chat. I feel like the Saints' philosophy is that you hold and grab every single play, and they're just not going to throw a flag every play.
Right.
I think they're very physical. This officiating crew was the fourth lowest in throwing flags, so it matched up well with the Saints, no matter who they were playing. It's like when everyone was going to storm Area 51. Remember, it's like they can't get us all. Like it's the same thing. I feel it's the same thing with the Saints. It's just like I think they just play very close. You saw the Gronk penalty that got called on fourth down in our own end zone with the hip. Like, that happens all the time. But to be fair, like, that's shit Carlton Davis does and gets away with. Mm-hmm. But when you got all five guys doing it, it gets upsetting when it's not called.
Right.
When they're doing it, like, and this might be an exaggeration, but they're doing it like 30 times a game, and like every replay you feel like you see them tugging the jersey, grabbing the pants, pulling the shoulder down just a little bit. Nothing egregious like bowling the guy over or chopping his arms before the ball gets there. And technically it's a pass interference, and you just got called, your team just got called for that last game or 2 games ago, or maybe you lost the game 3 weeks ago from a call like that gave the team a first down, and now they're in field goal range. They kick a field goal game, you lose. And then you play the Saints, who you just don't like, and you feel like they're cheating all the goddamn time. But it's a philosophy, and it works. And and plus they got a bunch of guys that get in heads. Like Chauncey Gardner started snatching people's mouthpieces. Like, it made me so mad. Like, I still can't believe there's not a rule against that. Like, how are you gonna go up to another grown man, snatch his mouthpiece out of his mouth while you're staring him in the face, and throw it on the ground? Like, how are you not gonna get beat up for that?
Yeah. How do you not get kicked in the nuts for that?
Right.
Yeah.
My whole thing, the Saints DBs for years have criminals. Hate them all.
Criminals.
Worst. Like, if there's man.
It's why we all love the Beastquake play, because you watch Marshawn Lynch toss Tracy Porter like he was a sack of garbage.
Right.
Get
like,
off me.
Jeez Louise. But even on the penalty note, though, like, there was a delay of game that they could have called. It was right on the line. But I was like, my theory is that they've gotten jobs pretty good out of some postseason games from calls. So that's
I used to say that all the time. Like, being a Saints fan ain't no fun, because like I thought they had the best team in the league like 2 years in a row, and got completely jobbed by the Minneapolis Miracle, and then the Rams pass interference. Like, I thought they were the best team in the league. If they would have played anybody any given Sunday, they'd win 8 times out of 10. And I mean, I would want my pound of flesh those 2 years if I was a Saints fan.
Right. Yeah. Man. Hey, something else I noticed was Jalen Darden, when he returns, he falls down
a lot
every time.
Needs new shoes.
Yeah,
is that what it is? Because what is going on with my man? Like,
I think he's using the shoes that Brent Grimes used to use.
Dude, I mean,
I don't know. I think he gets too excited and starts to trip over his own feet.
You can tell if they're Brent Grimes shoes if there's pictures of Miko on them.
Right, seriously. I saw OJ Howard out for a couple plays.
I know. OJ Howard sighting.
They threw him the ball. He touched the ball.
He still plays on this team, I guess. So
that was nice. Yeah.
Amazing.
I've been trying to, like, in like the Pewter Report like pods, I'll like toss in a question every now and again to see if they talk about OJ Howard, but you couldn't pay those guys to talk about OJ Howard because he doesn't play.
Well, yeah, what's there to say?
Right. Man,
you're lucky you spot him every once in a while. He had a pass thrown to him
Yeah.
And it would have been nice to get a replay, see if that was pass interference, just so I get more frustrated.
Dude, yeah. If anybody would have done even just a little bit, I feel like it would have gone such a long way. Like Rojo started to get going, and I was like, okay, like there's like maybe we can get something happening here. But then they decided to take him out for I don't really know what. And then
he's in the coaches and Brady's doghouse. Big time. Like I don't know like what he needs to do. Like do they need to reinstitute kangaroo court and have him, stand up in the middle of the locker room and sing "I'm a Little Teapot" so they can put it on social media just to get out of the doghouse? But yeah, for some reason the coaches are angry at him, or Brady is angry at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got somebody. So he's rubbed somebody on that team the wrong way for him to spend that much time on the bench, especially with Fournette out of the game, and now you're having to use Sneak Vaughn. If you're going to put Sneak Vaughn back there, for crying out loud, put fucking Vita Vea out there with him.
I made that joke at one point to my brother. I watched the game and I said, I don't give a shit. Put Devin White in at running back.
Seriously, that third down play where they asked Vaughn to get 1 yard and they couldn't block on the outside. If Vita Vea is in there, he's getting that yard. I'll tell you that much.
And that was another play where it became apparent that it was like just a bugaboo about the Saints because 95 out of 100 times Tom Brady takes out on his own, no matter what the called play is. He's just like, I'm gonna go get it. And like they talked about it on the telecast, like had plenty of room to go do it, but they didn't want to guard the edge. So Keyshawn Vaughn got lit up in the backfield.
Yeah, I think Tyler Johnson blew that because Worst blocked down and he just had a free run, and Tyler Johnson took the guy who made the tackle, his outside shoulder. But that's the kind of crap that's going to happen when when you don't let those guys play. Like Tyler Johnson had 4 snaps last week?
Yeah.
4 snaps, 0 targets. And I thought he actually, once kind of got his feet under him, I thought he was the only one out there making plays late.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been disappointing the last few weeks, I feel like, especially because he's had a bigger opportunity, but they turned to Rashad Perriman or anybody else.
Yeah.
Because, it's just even starting in the Washington game, it's like, okay, what are you doing, Tyler Johnson? Like, you're gonna separate, you're gonna catch the ball?
No, of course he's not.
Yeah, I guess not. Man, it's such a bummer that Keyshawn Vaughn can't catch a break. I'm such a big I live in Nashville and I watch him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's kind of snake bitten. He was last year. So far, he is this year. He fell at one point, dropped an easy pass.
You've touched the ball 45 times in the league, and you fumbled it or didn't catch it 15.
Yeah, he's got a half dozen drops.
Yeah, his ratio is bad.
He's fallen down on plays. It's like he's obviously using Jalen Darden's shoes.
There you go.
So,
yeah. The Brent Grimes Nike division.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I gotta get up early in the morning.
Yeah,
and I still gotta produce this and put this out. So if you got anything else, it's a really nice looking Christmas tree there, Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, happy holidays, season's greetings from Nashville.
Nice.
You got anything else you want to vent before we get out of here?
You might have a baseball team soon.
Hate playing the Saints.
What do you mean I have a baseball team soon?
In Nashville.
The Sounds might become a MLB team, I think.
I have a feeling that the city of Nashville is going to have a major league team sooner rather than later.
They got an MLS team that's new, and they're finishing up a stadium right now.
Yeah, I think you got that downtown stadium for the Sounds, and you can expand that. Although I think you want to put some covering on that because I heard that place gets muggy as hell during the summer. That place is not fun to play in the summer.
No doubt.
So,
well, anyway, that's all for me, guys. Thanks for letting me chat.
Happens.
Like I said, I already feel better.
Right, good. Sorry it couldn't be longer. Ren tired.
Yeah, Ren's got to get him 3 hours.
I know. Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Poor son of a bitch. See you, Johnny. All right, let's bounce out of here then. Thank you to everybody in the chat, even Anthony, the Saints fan. We love having him in here.
Yeah, there's a couple Saints fans in here.
Yeah, I saw a couple. Anthony, I think, is stuck around the entire hour. So appreciate that. Thank you to our sponsor, BetUS.com. And now, Ren, how can they find you?
Best place to find me is on Twitter at the PewterCast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if you think your take is too hot and don't want to put out on the Buccaneers Twitter sphere, feel free to slide in my DMs and I'll talk Buccaneers football with you there as well too.
I am at Steve Carney. Check out stp9.com for all the Rays stuff. We still have baseball held hostage going on there as well. And also, thank you to the Fansided Network for hosting this podcast. Subscribe and hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you're listening to the podcast. And definitely leave us ratings and reviews in all those places. And until next time.
Wait. Okay.
Go Buck yourself. And hopefully.
What?
I said hopefully they win next week.